Hello, hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. How's everyone doing? Alphabet and Tesla earnings day. Good morning, Sterling. Sterling putting in all the earnings from earningswhispers.com. Brought to you by we don't have any affiliation with them. That's where Sterling is getting his earnings from. Couple key. Good morning, Heinrich. Uh, AT&T was a beat, but down on forward guidance. Remember, just because something beats, and two things: the bar was set very low for earnings across the board because, again, of the potential impact of tariffs that were put on hold. So, bar was set pretty low. There's a lot of beats. Really sit up and take notice if a company though misses on revenue. Not this morning. I don't think there are any big revenue misses this morning. Patrick, good morning. Good morning, Mark. Thank you for tuning in on your day off. Glad you have a day off. Hilton was a beat. Good morning, Jacob. Just going through a couple of things. Hasbro, beat. I want to see how Hasbro does next quarter. Actually, once some tariffs really kick in again. General Dynamics was a beat. That is up today. Good morning, Dean. CME Group, beat. Good morning, Anissa. Good morning, Daniel. How are you doing? Let's see. Thanks for the Lily reminder. Small double bottom on Lily and NVO %B. The other day, someone brought up Lily. Again, that's why we're all here together, because people can bring up other stocks and help everybody out. Good morning, Charles. This live stream has nothing to do with me besides giving some insights and helping y'all learn stuff and providing a forum for doing this. There's plenty of days I would rather not be live streaming. But this is for everybody and help everybody and contribute as much as you can, especially as you learn. And if you see things or you see potential setups, especially ones we discuss in here, call them out. Good morning, Ted. Thank you for tuning in. That is the point, to help everybody get better. And like anybody cares what I think the market's going to do. So we had mortgage stuff again, climbing slightly. Mortgage rate. Existing home sales coming in at 10 Eastern. Crude numbers. Overall, I mean, crude is going to be important, especially where crude is trading against very key support now. Very key support. I'm watching for a potential only. We do not buy levels. We wait for setups near or at levels. Good morning. Should a reactionary afternoon with the number 5 and number 9 earnings by market cap? Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. We got Alphabet and Tesla. Well, you can do whatever you want. I don't just buy levels. I wait for setups at or near levels. I learned that the hard way. Because if there's not a setup, I just don't want to be randomly buying stuff because, hey, it's dropped. But it could drop more. It could pull back farther. All right? So 500 map. You see some chips. That Texas Instruments was a beat, but bad guidance. Bad guidance and down over 10%. That's why you have to be careful. AT&T this morning was a beat, down 3.5%. You got to still be careful in this market. Things are running up. People are starting to buy Apple. Apple actually closed above a key resistance level yesterday. I'm expecting now a run to the 200 before earnings. We can take a look at that if somebody reminds me. But pretty much across the board, up besides some key tech chips and some telecom. Everything up in, let's just refresh this, make sure it's still correct. Oh, now communication services. Don't do that to me. Communication services down 7 basis points. Everything else is up, led by healthcare, consumer, cyclical, industrials. Fed watch still is a pause for the cut next week. Next Wednesday, big day next Wednesday, Fed day. Still not, fell out of extreme greed into pure greed. What is not in? I mean, market volatility, I'd say this market volatility, I'd put it in greed mode myself. Again, it's sell vol, buy it all. But everything's either in greed, extreme greed, or neutral. I don't get that neutral for market volatility, but whatever. Their model, I just look mainly when things get to extreme greed and extreme fear. Schiller PE, 38.45. What else? What else we have? We got Tesla, Alphabet, They need to change their symbol from Google. I'm still going to call it Google until they change their symbol. IBM and Chipotle. We also have IBM and Chipotle. Chipotle is a really good barometer to see, especially the younger generation, what they're. So I'm going to be looking at that also, those couple other things, and O'Reilly Auto Parts this afternoon. Tomorrow morning, we have American Airlines before the open, Dow, Southwest, Union Pacific, Keurig Dr. Pepper. I'm sorry, that's the worst name ever. Okay? That I know they bought them, but that's a horrible name. That's a horrible name. So that's where we sit. Not that it matters that I think it's a horrible name. So, another rotation back up. A quick little dip yesterday into. This was fascinating. I was watching down here. We broke below that trend line with a quick little sell-off. This was fantastic. Then look at how that nice little. It was a potential neckline that got shifted down, but look how that set up. Okay, we came right in here, trading. If I go back down, you can see it here. Coming right here, resistance. So prior support resistance area coming back down, rocketing through, little dip below, and then taking off back from there. That's why I left that on there. That was really nice because again, where did we dip? Where did we dip? Rotation zone. Rotation zone. That's why I will not go short into the rotation zone unless there's a ton of momentum. Especially in these markets. In these markets, okay, because every dip is getting bought. Now we are in potential double top territory. Probably will not trigger, but we do have key earnings after the close. Oh, come on. We do have key earnings after the close, so I will pay attention to that. If we don't take it out already. Where's my other line here? There we go. So what invalidates the potential double is a trade above 63.8775. Intraday, we're already trading against Monday's high. We now have a cluster 63.80 to 63.81. So that is my first intraday target should it continue to run. Should it continue to run? Trading right against very key resistance. I'm watching the 4-hour and specifically the 4-hour top of the rotation zone and the bottom of the 1 hour should we pull back. Minor level I'm looking at for aggressive is 63.65. Conservative is about 63.62. Again, that does not mean I buy there. It means I watch for potential entries. All right. So that's what I'm looking at. I will stay in short-term dip mode unless we trigger the double. Then I will be patient. Hope that makes sense. Good morning, PMG. Thank you for chiming in, OD Green. What else? Another reaction from sentiment price on NASDAQ's second day it happened. That level, been acting as support resistance, something I noticed. Thank you for chiming in. Charles. Don't know if the move index responds to patterns. It does, but it has set up a potential daily double bottom right at previous, sorry, I can't speak this morning, at previous major support. If it does, we could see, yes, we could be seeing more bond volatility. You know what? There you go. Here's the move index. And again, it's longer term patterns, but keep an eye on this. If we do start breaking above this 90-70 area, okay? And you see, this does not still have to trigger, but this is a completely valid double bottom. And if we look on the weekly, we are we just came out oversold. If you look here also, let's see, what was last week's? What was last week's? Oh, it was still positive. I thought that might have been a percent beat buy setup, but it's not. Although keep an eye on that double if it triggers. All right, we had on the NASDAQ, dip into the rotation zone. NASDAQ's weaker. The first thing I'm focused on today is personally the S&P. again, NASDAQ's, all this stuff is very, very top. It's going to be interesting to see what Tesla and Google or Alphabet do on earnings. Short term, we were flagging yesterday, and then we sort of turned into more of a rollover pattern. So NASDAQ trading right now, you can see it right here. Prior support, resistance. Conservatively, it's got to get above 23,280. 23,280 before I start really anything on the bullish side start following through. Support level, first level of support, I'm looking at 23,200. Then I'm looking at closer to 23,175 to 23,180. If we do start breaking and sustaining above 23,280, I'm using the harmonics or retracement harmonics from the highs on Monday to the lows yesterday. See, this was in the rollover zone yesterday. It's got to sustain there. Then my next target is, you see this prior little support shelf here at the 62.5, so 23,306 area. And if we start following through with closes above there, then I'll go for 23,345 and 23,385. That's only for short-term stuff. That's for the shorter-term traders. Other than that, still watching, would not be shorting this with the rotation zone right there. We'll be paying close attention after the market, though, with Alphabet and Tesla. The Dow rotating back up in potential double top territory on, look at that, weekly double top. Potential, might never trigger. The rotation is getting shifted into the Dow. You also saw that. Hey, this is one of the reasons we look, at least I look at this every day, okay, with the groups. Because when you start seeing things like healthcare, utilities, industrials, financials, that generally is a rotation out of some riskier stuff into some things that more favor components in the Dow and some of those things, and that's what we're seeing now. Dow found major resistance, as we talk about, at this 44,800 level, breaking through it earlier today. So the Dow is the other thing I'm watching for a continued up move today. All right. So the only thing that would invalidate this double is a long way off, 45,478. There is your next key level of resistance between 45,101 all the way down to 45,025 area. So that's where I'm watching for some key resistance in the Dow. Russell rotating up yesterday. Still against very key support. And we're getting rejected there. Again, the Russell and the NASDAQ are what I'm not looking for initially today for bullish moves. Okay, they both have to prove themselves. If the Russell can break above, it's got very key resistance around this 2285. If it can get above last Thursday's highs, 2304 is a target. VIX, again, extreme complacency, very interesting going into some mega cap earnings, not just today, but especially next week. Very complacent market. DAX, I'm keeping an eye. This is not a trend line. It's a best fit line. I'm keeping an eye on that. Other than that, I'm watching for a breakdown below 2450 with a follow-through close, or if it starts breaking above roughly about 24,400, I'm looking for 24.5 and then a possible retest of the highs. Yields, looking to see, let's see today. I mean, it would technically be a percent B buy if we close above yesterday's high. I doubt that's going to happen. So I'm watching still for a setup against some key support going into the rest of the week. Going especially into tomorrow. Let's see if we get a setup. Other than that, we don't have anything like a double bottom yet. Might be forming an inverse head and shoulders. Going to keep an eye on that, but it's still very early. Why am I looking for stuff? Because we are at a very key level. You see, this is where we bounced before on the 10th of July, and this is where, besides that little breakdown, this has been very key support area, this 4.35, 4.33 yield area. 30-year, Also, we're keeping an eye on this. Again, this multi-day pullback, but still could be forming another higher low. Crude against a very key level right now with cycles at the bottom, potentially setting up for a % buy tomorrow, although we do have the EIA numbers out today. So that could be invalidated. I don't have a great setup yet. There is a very minor double bottom going into the EIA numbers that I will be paying attention, but that's an aggressive bounce play only. All right. So I will be paying attention to that. Also, I might be looking for a front run pattern on that. Natty gas, by the way, does have it will probably get invalidated, and that's the only thing that would make me bullish on natty gas in the short term. You might be wondering, this is pretty close to being beyond the candle bodies. If you look at it in the 4 hour, it still cuts through them, so I need a 4 hour close above there. And I'm not suggesting being bullish on this. That's the only pattern. Other than that, I'm still looking for further weakness in natty gas and potentially getting down to about this 295 to 3 level. Gold. What was the next target we talked about? The 87.5 with the top of the channel. We hit that yesterday and again got rejected this morning. There is major resistance back there. Not saying the move's over, but this was definitely for the short-term %B buy. Take something off the table in the short term. Long-term stuff is still good. And then watch for a potential pullback. Silver. Silver. Now, if silver trades above 40.40, the potential double is off the table. Remember, just because it's a potential does not mean it will ever trigger. We're at a major cluster right now. A major cluster area right now. Okay, if it does break through there, 40 to 40.40 is next target area. There's a lot of psychological stuff with silver at 40. And silver's getting very overbought again. Silver, we got weekly cycles at the top and very overbought with a potential significant divergence up here. So for this, I mean, we've been long PSLV. There's a bunch taken off the table, and for me, my perspective, it's aggressive trailing. Aggressive trailing again. Coppers are rotating back up out of the rotation zone. We did not talk about this. I do not talk about copper every day. That's why I teach this stuff. But this was a %B buy. Back last Friday, followed through. All right. So that's where we sit. The minor levels now. The minor levels are 595 and then 601. The major level is 612. That's why if you're following it, learn the patterns. That's why we teach everything essentially for free here. Dollar. Remember what I said? I was looking between the 50 and 62.5. We pulled right back there without closing below it. So I'm still looking for a potential buy setup unless today we turn around and close below 96.87, then I will be patient. But I'm still looking for something. We might be setting up tomorrow for a %B buy. Yields on the yen. We had the trade deal announced and the yields climbing after the trade deal announcement. Okay, and that trade deal really screws over domestic car makers. So that's going to be interesting for all the talk with that. Helps Toyota a lot. Love me a good Toyota. But keep an eye on this because it looks like yields are going to break out on that trade deal. And also the yen. A little continued strengthening, but could be putting in a %B buy bar for tomorrow. And I'm still watching, even though we closed below. We closed right at the rotation zone below this area of support. Still an area. Nothing to do yet, but I'm looking tomorrow for a potential %B buy bar or above today's high. Other than that, we'll be patient. Spiders, I will get to comments in a second. Spiking above the next minor harmonic and now gapping up. This will probably be in minor double top territory. But if you're looking today, the other minor levels higher, I said minor a lot of times there, didn't I? 632.21 and 632.88 are the key levels for today. Are the key levels. So what else do we have? Let me just scan back through here. Wait, I'm just, boy, stuff. See, I really disagree with this. I know, Sterling, you say, in all fairness, people should be, you know what? But this, you know why there's also margin requirements in futures, and they also just make it like some, and they raise it at times of more risk? This is just encouraging a lot more risk at the worst possible time for people. This is encouraging gambling. All right? That's my problem with this. It's like the CME, to get more people trading futures, just say, all right, we're making initial margins on the S&P for the full contract, $500. Go ahead and gamble. You'll have people blowing up left and right. So that's why I'm against it. Again, if you put in pure gambling, there should be some rules, and I'm a libertarian, but there should be some rules against something. Again, over leveraging, letting people trade at massive leverage, they can lose far more than their $2,000, and people do, because they'll get auto liquidated. People don't realize that and how quickly things can move. And let's say they have 2,000 gain and they get auto liquidated on a quick market move, and now they're in the hole for 10 grand. And they, again, a lot of people are not financially literate. That's the other thing. And these brokerages don't hold people to financial literacy. People don't even know what it means. Look at people taking out car loans. My gosh, I've seen people, I've talked to a couple of them. They're driving these Mopar, geez. What are the high performance ones? I just blanked out. I'm asking. I'm like, yeah, I bought it used. Like, do you know what percent interest rate you're paying? I don't have great credit, but I'm paying like 18% APR annual on my car. It's okay though. I love it. You know, you're gonna pay more in interest in that car. It's ridiculous. So no, we have to hold people. You don't just give people, like, again. You don't just give people a gun. You got to teach them how to use it. And some of this over-leveraged stuff that they just allow free reign of rules, and they don't enforce even any aspect. You know, there's not even like a quit. You can just, I've been trading for 20 years. Just give me the leverage. What do you mean I got liquidated? You know? Very, very dangerous precedent, and we're getting a very loose market conditions, which promotes gambling. You can see it with the zero-day options. You can see it with all the meme stuff again. You can see it with stuff like on the Reddit boards. On the Reddit boards, this. Coles. Let's manufacture a short squeeze in Coles. All right. You know how many people jumped in on this and then on a reversal got crushed? You start limiting day trader rules to 2Ks. People are, I'm chasing higher. What? Look, my account got blown out in one day. Nope, not for me. I think it's dangerous, and you don't give people a loaded gun without at least teaching them basic firearms instruction. Was watching above this. I talked about it yesterday. Breakout and quick reversal. So I'm now watching if it goes the other way. Other than that, it's not stopped from my perspective yet. Sorry for my rant, but this is my sensitive areas because I see way too many people blow up. And way too many people blow up. That's why I love the micro futures, because you can still blow yourself up. But it's a lot harder, and you can get a lot of practice in before you destroy an account. Stocks, Nope. Where do we sit? Sorry, I scrolled back through this. Let's see. Let's see. What's some car put in a percent beat buy yesterday in the daily rotation zone and is breaking through resistance. Again, that double never triggered. That was a potential, again, breaking through the rotation zone, percent beat buy up yesterday. Again, we're back in, you still have a magnet price based off pure harmonics, but this thing, we're in complete gambling mode on most stuff again. Back to complete gambling mode. Do you like SOFR futures? Can you look at SR3Z? I don't look at them that much. We can look at them though. For me personally, there's not a lot of great stuff right now from us. I mean, if you're looking here, oh, Costco, there we go. If you're looking here, based on the short-term harmonics, a close of 96.85, 96, just go 97 would be a continued move up here. Other than that, I don't have a key short set up yet. I don't have one yet. Again, I don't do a lot with this. But if it broke back below this 96.70 level, that could be interesting for another breakdown play. Other than that, I'd continue to watch to see if it gets above 97. We know you love Toyota too. Yeah, Charger Challenger. I mean, I'm seeing people, geez, these kids. Oh, it's sad. Bitcoin's playing with day traders, but had a nice. I love a classic Mike Soapbox, honestly. Sorry, you guys. Which exam didn't you pass? I mean, through which, bro? I mean, geez. You know, I mean, there's 4 levels of options trading, by the way. So which one are they not letting you do? Legal gambling is skyrocketing. I mean, you know what? Again, oh boy, it's good. People, that's the mindset we're in. It's also the mindset the younger generation's in. And I talk to a lot of people who do a lot of sports betting. They're like, that's the only way I'm going to make it. It's the only way I'm going to be able to afford anything. And if I blow up, I'm not going to be worse off than I am now. See, this is the mindset. Things are so out of reach for a lot of the younger generation that they're resorting to gambling in the markets, not a structured trading approach, but gambling and sports betting and this other crap and the poly market stuff, you know, and betting on outcomes for everything. They're just gambling on everything because they're like, hey, if I blow myself up, I'm no worse. I can't buy a house anyways. I might as well try to hit it big, which is dangerous. That's the precedent we're setting, which is the side effect from all this crappy rates and everything else. You want another rant? Because this is what pisses me off. You know, now everybody, yeah, Jerome Powell, I think he's done a garbage job. But do I want him replaced with a crony for Trump that just wants to take rates to 1%? No, because that's just going to spark back up inflation. We can make people buy a house because of payments affordable. You want to know something? They'll never pay off the house. You know, we got to have some fiscal discipline, and we should get rid of the friggin' Fed, not make it just put in another. And I don't want a Fed controlled by the presidency on whatever side. I don't want a Fed, period. Can we just abolish the friggin' thing? I don't like Powell. I've talked about that for years. I think he's done a garbage job, but I don't want another crony put in there that's going to do another garbage job. Can we just get rid of the friggin' institution, period? Because it's a fucking joke. It's destroying people. It's destroying and this ties into what I was talking about. It's why we got a gambling mentality in the younger generations. I got nothing to lose. I can't afford shit anyways. So let's take rates back to zero. Free debt for all. How do you think that's going to end up long term? Oh, gosh. All right. Yeah, why they want to get rich quick and easy? Because they don't care. They can't afford stuff. In the area I live in the Phoenix area, to afford a one-bedroom apartment, you have to make $75,000 a year by yourself to just afford a one-bedroom apartment. That is ridiculous. All right. All right, there we go. That's why they're looking to socialism too. Let's gamble and have socialism. Let's have socialism because we don't have capitalism anymore. Capitalism was flushed down with all government intervention and all this crony capitalism, all this other crap. I don't even call it capitalism. And as people say, yeah, it's still better than socialism. I'll completely agree. But we don't have capitalism. It's bail out. If you're too big to fail, bail it out. Create stuff like this inflation. Create over risk taking. And bail it out if it fails. Except for, you know what? There's going to be a lot of people that blow up in the next market turn. There's going to be people that blow up across the board with a lot of things, but they're not going to get bailed out, nor should they get bailed out. I'm not advocating for bailouts, but stop bailing out the banks. Stop bailing out the rich funds. Stop bailing out private equity. Stop bailing the shit out and let it fail. It's bail out the rich, too, at this point. There's more socialism for the rich. Hey, look, I'm too big to fail. You got to bail me out. Where's your risk then? We don't have capitalism. And by the way, I'm not advocating for socialism. Socialism and communism is garbage. It destroys companies or countries. So don't think that. We just don't have this crap. And now you're just promoting more and more gambling for people to get ahead. Not going to end well. So at least I'm here every day trying to teach people a methodology, trying to teach people, I don't care if you use my stuff or not, use reward to risk, wait for your setups, use key levels, look at price action, and learn to do it right. Otherwise, you're just going to keep blowing yourself up. And don't sign up for a $2,000 day trading account with 4-to-1 leverage. Yes, socialism has failed. Show me one country it's ever worked in. Oh, we haven't done it right. No, what? You've tried it every which way to Sunday. Socialism is garbage. Garbage. But can we get back to some pure capitalism? And I call it, oh boy, sorry, I'm frying my brain today. I want more enlightened capitalism. You know what? You make money, you also do the right thing while you make money. I'm really tired of these companies that are pretending to be capitalism. Oh, let's make money at all costs. You know what? You can make money, but make money at all costs. There is a cost to that. You know what? I will. I'm not one of these people. Greed is good. Making money, great. Greed tips the scale. And I'm not saying it should be limited what you can make or anything else. You know what? Make as much as you want. Just do it more. We have no ethics at all anymore. No ethics. If I get away with it and make the money, what kind of crap is that? If you can get away with it and make the money? You know what? How many other things have you hurt on the way there? Look, make the money. Do it ethically. To the best of your ability, because money can be made it's again, it's not if to me, it's also how you make it. Sorry, people can agree, disagree. I'd love to have some enlightened capitalism. I'd love to have some pure. Let's lift everybody up by teaching people the right thing to do, help everybody make money, and get the government out of our friggin' way and stop bailing out certain things. Stop choosing which industries to bail out, which industries to back. You know what? If you want to take the risk with your money, take the risk, but then don't ask for a handout if you fail. Pick yourself back up. Understand the risk going in the game. Don't try to structure the risk so you're not going to lose no matter what. And if you win, hey, look, I made $10 million, but I took no risk because I used government bailouts and handouts. But if I fail, taxpayers going to bail me out. You know, screw you. All right. There we go. And look, we haven't missed anything in the markets. Oh boy, there's some pretty significant price rejection up here. It's pretty significant. Where's my 8 EMA? Give me my 8. There it is. Give me my 8 EMA back. I'm just going to be now looking at 63.65. Go walk the dogs. That'll help you with your brain. We need an alien invasion. Well, I don't know if we need an alien invasion, Coco. Never stop fighting the good fight. Oh. Oh, boy. All right. You're welcome, Patrick. Sorry to keep you all around if you stuck here. Yeah, the volume on red days does keep climbing. Again, the trend is still up. We're getting major instability. The trend is still up. We haven't even had short-term pullback patterns triggered. If we do, then we'll watch for it. Until then, the trend is still up. We need to rebrand the channel and just have Mike rant in the morning. People love it. You don't need to listen to my rants in the morning. They happen when they happen. All right, you got me started, Sterling. It's your issue today. You got me started on that. Well, you responded to the day trading rules. Who posted that from Rick? But you got me started, Sterling. I'm putting this one on you. I'm not taking any responsibility for my rant. Isn't that typical for today? I'm not taking any responsibility for my actions. All right. I shall talk to everyone later. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful trading day. Do not forget Tesla and Alphabet after the close. And with that, I will see everybody for the unemployment numbers. The initial jobless claims continuing and initial tomorrow morning. With that, have a wonderful, wonderful trading day. Bye for now.